we are rather challenging the earth and its environment to take up something drastic that we as humans will not be liking, right? So now, this was the literal meaning of the poem Fire and Ice. Now let's take a look at the in depth meaning or the inner meaning of every word that the poet speaks, right? Now, what he is trying to tell us is that he compares in this particular poem fire and ice to other emotions, to our emotions that are completely destructive if not controlled or disciplined by us humans, right? Desires are compared to fire, and hatred symbolizes ice or cold behavior in our particular poem, Fire and Ice. Here, in this particular poem, the poet says that if given a chance of destroying the world for the second time, right? First destruction will happen with fire and he supports it. But when he comes to the study and draws a conclusion, he realizes that even ice is equally important and can ruin a person's life or the world till or to eternity, right? Now, if we begin with the paraphrasing of the poem, we come to a generalized structure of the poem where he uses the when he uses the word some. Some say the world will end in fire. Now, it is not his opinion, but some people, elderly people, the philosophy, religion, studies, historians, geologists have come down to a conclusion that the world will end in fire. Fire, literal meaning, proper fire, rising and soaring of temperatures, or the in depth meaning, fire means desires that are like graveyard and there's always room for more. Some say in ice, others believe that hatred or cooler temperatures on the earth, because now just with the help of with the global warming taking place, there is no season left where we do not have some or the other mingling or mixing of seasons together. If you can take today's weather, it is pretty raining, but the next morning is going to be very much sunny. The other morning again is going to be cloudy. Other morning is going to be windy. So there is no particular season left that we can totally categorize that yes, it is monsoon, yes, it is winter, yes, it is spring, or it's autumn, right? So in the same manner, it says that maybe there is a possibility, if not the heat, then the cold attitude of nature will ruin the entire world or destroy the world whenever it's going to be destroyed. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. So the poet says that with his taste, means his experiences in life, he believed that desires of a human being will definitely ruin the world forever. Desires, if we can take to politics, right? If a simple common example that we see and we face and we hear every single day, politics. What happens in politics? The desire to have a stronghold in public, to have a seat, right? Be it a chief minister, be it a prime minister, be it a home minister, defense minister, there is a rat race. And this rat race comes to an end when somebody or other is sacrificed for the sake of the other person running in that race. So the desire to be popular, the desire to be famous, to hold an authority comes at a very high price. So he feels that whatever experiences he's got in his life, he supports the people who feel that desires are the things that destroy the world to eternity or forever. But if it had to perish twice, it here refers to the world. Perish means to be destroyed, to be ruined. He says, but if the world would be given another chance to be destroyed, I think I know enough of hate. He says, I have experienced hatred, the cold attitude of people. Cold attitude, hatred, symbolic of ice. To say that for destruction, ice is also great and would suffice. And he says in the last three lines that even to destroy the world, he feels that ice or hatred is equally important. And it is also a very great component in destroying the world. And that would be sufficient as the ice or the fire was. Both are equally important to ruin or destroy the world forever. Now, if we take a very common example about ice or hatred, just see what is happening around the world. Children throwing their parents out of their houses, parents not trying to understand the psyche of the child, right? This leads to generation gap. Slowly and steadily, what happens? There is a lack of understanding, and this leads to hatred being developed in children towards their parents. And finally, there is the last nail in that coffin of a relationship wherein the child either leaves the house, crushes his life, ruins his future, or ruins the future of his parents. So, that is the kind of amount of hatred a person can develop if not taken care of in the initial years of his life. So, the world can be ruined, can be destroyed by fire and by ice, and both are equally important as components of destruction. So, this happens to be your paraphrasing of the particular poem. Now, when we come to the message conveyed, it's going to be simple, that it is better to have healthy relationships so that the world is not destroyed and is kept safe for our future generations. Do not go or indulge into any kind of desires and feelings or emotions filled with hatred that may ruin one's future forever. Coming down to the various figures of speech, it's going to be just a repetition of what we did for Dust of Snow. First, we'll take alteration. The very first line, some say, right? The S and the S. The same line that follows in the second line, world and will. The W and the W sound. Again, we come to the third line. It's going to be some say, right? The S and the S. Then, if we move to the fifth line, I believe, favor fire, the F and the F. Again, a repetition. So, of alteration and so on and so forth, you can continue with the particular alterations whenever you find them. Let's do a bit of exercise of alteration on your side, right? Now, coming to another same thing, that is enjambment. We've just done in Dust of Snow. Enjambment is something where there aren't any punctuations and the poem continues throughout with slightest of the slightest punctuation marks. So here, this also fits in. The third and the most important one is personification. Now, what is personification? Personification is giving lifelike qualities to lifeless objects, meaning fire personifies desires of a human being, and ice personifies hatred or emotions that are negative of a human being, right? So these three things you need to remember for fire and ice. Alteration as poetic device, coming down to your enjambment, and third is your personification. Okay, now if we take the rhyming scheme,